Okay, this is the AMA, and I know it took a little bit to do it, but because I was busy during the week, so let's go. Uh, I don't know if I'll call out every single username, and also the way I selected was really simple. I tried to not get too many duplicates, and I didn't want to answer everything. There's like 148 comments. I think I got to maybe like 50, and hopefully that's good enough. And so I guess sorry to those that don't, get their questions answered. Uh, we'll see. Um, and also, very big thank you to everyone for being pretty normal for the most part. Maybe only like a couple bands here and there being weird. So, the very generic username asks if you could instantly lose all the skills you have in one thing and exchange it with equivalent skills in another, what would you swap out? This is a great question. I like hypotheticals like this a lot, actually. I very much like, I think it's a sign of, honestly, intelligence. Um, I would throw away my Tetris. I've spent maybe 15 years on that, and I think I'm the equivalent of like a diamond player at most. I sprint at 26 seconds max, and the world record's about 12 or 13, so I'm not that good. And I would take video editing. I would put into video editing. Video editing is probably one of the biggest fucking skills I could have as a content creator. I'm full vertical. I can do everything except the thumbnails, really. But even the thumbnails, I can learn. Um, but yeah, I've always believed in the idea of just do it yourself so you can do it better. And I taught myself how to video edit. I was a creative to begin with, so I just enjoyed seeing things in my head, and montages. But the actual skills to put that into a coherent, you know, video, that's different. I'll take that. Jester Gunner says, I'm unsure if this has been asked before, but what are your favorite videos to record, if you have any, such as autocast, shard holder, cheesy playstyles, crazy one shots? Personally, if we're not thinking about like money or anything, um, long range like checkmate scenarios, like infinite Ash W's and ultis, um, like super zoning, Anivia walls, like the builds that take a concept and really take it to the max, and some sort of checkmate, not necessarily one shots. So utility would be like a big one, like pushing people out, stunning people, like taking some skill to that. Like Talia W is just my favorite, like one of my favorite abilities in the game. Talia W and WW, Trundle E, creating terrain or pushing, pulling, whatever, omnidirectional range push, which is nuts, dude. Imagine if Pain could teleport there and go Shinra Tensei. Pretty nuts. Yeah, but people don't like those things. So Talia, you never see on my main channel. Nivea, I did once. I did with Spectacle, and yeah, whatever happens. Moko Nitoraku asks, would you ever consider? Also, sorry if I get the pronunciation on these names wrong. I apologize ahead of time. Would you ever consider doing a video with deep dives into different mechanics in Arena? Maybe a second channel video where you focus on mobile games that show unique synergy that might not be obvious. First of all, no. But the reason as to why I think is very important. Um, Suppose I were to take 10 people, 10 random people that play a video game, and full train them such that all their moves were to be optimal, or as optimal as I could get them to be. But let's presuppose that I am like a divine being and I know everything. Okay. What if I taught 10 people exactly how to play in every single scenario ever after 3 million years in like a fucking hyperbolic time chamber? What happens to the game then? And does it require that level of expertise to achieve its effect? Well, okay. To answer number one, I would imagine that those 10 people, they they will necessarily demand that everyone else do the exact same thing just by existing. Not literally demand, but like their existence would demand that. As in, the moment you introduce 10 perfect players, or even one, into a system, anyone that goes up against them is required to do the exact same thing they did and consult the divine being to match. This is assuming that Arena is a perfectly balanced system in that no matter what situation you're in, you always have the option or ability to win somehow. So a lot of like, assumptions, but what I'm getting at here is the reason why I don't want to deep dive into different mechanics in arena or teach people or make guide content is because the moment I show you that, if I'm correct, you will play in a way that makes it less fun for other people. That's simply it. Sorry, I'm gonna take once. I need to respond to someone, and I don't want to edit this. Skip like 20 seconds or something. Um, on just sorry, I'm a piece of shit. Okay, I might have to respond in a moment. Okay, so that's what I'm getting at, right? Where it's like I I would do endless amounts of harm by making formalized videos on like what to do and when. Even if I'm trying to teach you the patterns and like the understanding behind the patterns, as long as you can glean any sort of value off that, like just build this item or just do that. Like, I'll give you something. I'll give you one. On round 4, assuming you've killed at least one character every round, if you do a random anvil, you will have exactly 4,000 gold at round 6 if you've killed if you just managed to kill someone. And if you're good at the game, you want to random anyway because you can see 6 items. 6 items. Most characters can use at least one out of the 6 items, or at the very least, it's still power, it's still stats, and then you can try and get that prismatic on 6. Okay, normally you would be down 500. Normally you would only have 3,500, and you would have to kill 2, and then by the time you hit 8, it's gonna go 4,250 because you get the 500 gold or whatever, or well 4,500, and you would have lost your tempo, right? Like it wouldn't have been worth. So even something like that, it's like I don't want to teach people that. I only teach people insofar as they're able to like look at the things I do in the videos I make and be like, oh, that's good. You know what I mean? I don't like explicitly say, well, sometimes I'll say like, oh, do this or do that, or like here's like a tactic. Maybe like, oh, Soren activates, can't touch this. I'll share those things for sure. But that's always in service of like making a better video for like fun, not necessarily to like show you how to win. Like, right, if it serves the purpose of the video, like, hey, this is a cool build and here's how this augment works, yeah, I'll teach you the mechanics of the augment. Like, yo, so you can actually do this with this augment, blah 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 blah, right? Or like it's synergized with this. So there's no avoiding teaching people things as long as I win. At some point there's going to be a new tactic, like maybe hitting blast cone and buffering stuff. But I think it would be a very big mistake for me to actually put out a guide, no matter how many people would want to watch that, no matter how many. Because I think Arena at its core should be like a strictly fun game mode, and I think people need to make mistakes. When you make a mistake, the other side has fun. And as long as enough people have that conversation with each other, where they make 2 mistakes, they make 3, blah, blah, everyone's kind of like messing up a little bit. It's fun, it's silly, it's ridiculous. Someone fucks up in a spectacular way, you laugh, and you go, oh my god, he messed up, get him, like, it's better than like, full sweat comms like the way that we have to sometimes. I think it's strictly better. I obviously there's different audiences. Some people will enjoy, you know, playing it like it's world's finals. But overall, because it is supposed to be a fun game mode, I think it can benefit from people being less sweaty overall. Right? If anyone tries to invoke hypocrisy or anything like that, I want you to remember I do this for a job. My goal is to get to the end of the video, right? To the end of the game, like as much runtime as possible. My job is not to win. I'd like to win. I get competitive for sure. We're sitting there for 3-4 hours doing nothing until we hit that one video. And the reason why I get so aggressive, so like, ooh, Blood Boys, because I need to psych myself into that. Otherwise, and you don't see this, you don't see the background. I'm doing this. I'm doing this the whole time. I'm literally just hit 6 minutes FF. That's it. We hold the fucking augment and the item so that we can run out the clock so that we can surrender on round 3. You can do that if you hold everything. I'm going to teach you that one. If you literally don't select anything, because if everyone selects in the lobby, it speeds up the timer. You want to slow it down, you want to bring it down to the last circle on both round 1, round 2, so you can FF on 3. Like, that's how fucking boring our lives are. And so when people, I know I'm veering off track a little bit, but when people are very frustrated about, oh, you're calling him sweaty, call him, yes, I need that in my blood. Otherwise, I'm sleeping. I need to turn myself into like, this guy is the enemy right now, so I can care, so I can get my emotions out. I'm so bored. So I've highly optimized my content Mr. You know, Mr. Moko Nitaraku. I've highly optimized it. I know what works and I know what doesn't. I've tried some of these ideas in the past. I've tried those spins. It doesn't work. Let me respond to someone real quick. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. Um, you see the wonders that editing does. It saves you time, right? Do you manage to get enough from Glazio? Do you manage to get enough free time for rest, fun, and family? A full job with grinding for the showcase games seems like a lot. No, I don't. Forgive me. Sorry, John Smith asks. Forgive me if this was answered in an old video, but how did you meet the two? Always in your videos. What's the lore? So Brian came from watching me play Tetris. Sorry, sniping me in Tetris when he watched my stuff. I don't actually remember how he actually like came to find my channel, but I'm I'm almost 4 years older, 4 or 5 years older than Brian. I forget these kids, you know. Actually, I'll tell you the full story, okay? Mm. Way back in the past, you know, I've had a ton of years come and go, but when I broke up with one of my girlfriends back then, not simultaneous, okay, what like one of my exes, um, I was so lonely that I ended up just like telling my stream like, hey, you know what? Come into my Discord and I'll just sit there in the Hangout box. I made something called the Hangout box. It's there to this day, 6 years later, and I just sat there, and people would just come in and hang out, and like they would come and go, but the ones that stayed, they're my friends now. They're the special ones to me that I would give the world to. Brian's one of them. Mario's one of them, and um, they would like we would just sit there, we would chat, we would get to know each other, and a lot of them are younger than me. Salty, she's 4 or 5 years younger. Rofer, 4 or 5. They're all like the same age-ish, like 21, 22, 23. But when I was 20 or so, they were all like high school students. It's kind of crazy. These kids were like legitimately high school students, and I'd like to think maybe I was like an older brother figure or something. But we've all grown up. But to me, they're all. It might sound weird, but they're the kids to me, like the little ducklings. Not in a condescending way, but like treasured, like very treasured, and younger siblings, sort of. Even Mario, in a way. Mario is like only 1 year younger than me, but to me, and this sounds very arrogant, but and he would tell you this too. Um, I've been with him through so many of the things he's gone through, and I've seen him develop, and I've influenced a lot of development because I was always harsh with him. I was always very, very willing to just call him out right to his face, like, dude, like this is not good, that's not good, blah blah blah. And I think in a way I've commanded enough respect from them, and individually they've told me at times like that I've influenced them. Um, Either like literally directly or I guess like with each other or something. So I'd like to think I'm in a position of responsibility um, as a result, and it's been fun. It's been very fun. But they started off as viewers, and they came in, they hung out in the hangout box, we became friends, and they were very loyal. They were very loyal to my stuff, so I included them in my content, and I'm very, very happy that I can actually like reward them in a way and employ them. So it's fucking really nice. So that's the lore. That can never happen ever again because I wasn't that big back then. I'm not necessarily like crazy big right now, but I'm big enough to the point where if I ever like go into like a league community area, someone generally recognizes me, and that's a fucking weird thing. And so what I'm getting at here is like if I were ever to do hangout boxes again, the people that join are probably going to be ridiculously parasocial, and they're probably going to want to be a little bit of a clout goblin. They have these motives. Thankfully back then, the reason why it was different back then is because who would they mooch off of? I wasn't a big streamer at all. You know, they did it for the love of the game. They just enjoyed the shit that I was talking about and things I was doing, I was doing, right? So I think that could never happen again. I can never make an authentic friendship from a viewer pool again, without a huge investment of time and checking. Typically, the older viewers I would get along with well, but like they're not interested in becoming part of like a friend group. You know, they got lives to live. So I kind of caught them at the right time. You know, they were young, they were malleable, high school students, and you know they wanted a place to belong. So yeah, it's to me it's a very wholesome story, and I've learned a lot about leadership as a result of being near them. I've had to break up fights. I've had to talk to people. I had to coach people on things, all the while I was growing up myself. You know, because I was only 21, 22. You know, I didn't really know that much, but I generally knew better. I'd hope. Okay. Anyways, next. Hopefully I don't take too long on every single fucking question. We have a huge list. Um, From Kupfer Dakla, do you sometimes fear that because of changes Riot is inevitably going to make, you might be forced out of a rather comfortable, stable place of earning money? Let's assume that's the case, e.g., arena being paused, or do you have contingency plans for that? And then he gives a compliment here, it seems. Great content, by the way. One of the people who watch your videos to fall asleep just to finish them the next day. Yes, I have contingency plans. I cannot share them with you, nor do I really want to. Um, I'm okay. Now, see, like the thing that made me successful in arena was not that I was good at arena. It was that I'm good at games. I'm good at analysis. I'm good at pattern recognition. Like in general, I will always have these skills outside of arena. They came from Summoner's Rift, and that came from Tetris and StarCraft and CS2D and RuneScape before it. And it came from me being a good gamer as a kid. Continue to do so as an adult and improve. So that's that's my honest to god answer. I should be okay. My skill set is pretty niche ish, but I'm also like a business owner right now, right? Like I ran YouTube channels. I understand these things. I taught myself these things very well. And if nothing else, I'm a video editor, right? I can make another content creator's videos better than they can, and I'll know exactly what the fuck to do because and also I'm passionate. That's the thing I can offer to other people. It's like I will care about your product. I will fucking care because I care in general. And for other editors, the disadvantage of hiring them, not to shit on them too much, I'm sorry. Um they're there for a paycheck. I'm okay. Like if I do it, yeah, I want the paycheck, of course, but passion comes first. And so I think that's why I'm going to win in a lot of cases for a lot of endeavors I undergo. Not only a combination of skill that I've built up over like a decade plus of being here, um, constantly learning so I can learn new things if I need to for the job or any job. And also I'm passionate, very passionate about games and content in general. This is my intersection right here. I'm good at this shit, whether you like it or not. So bye. Right. From BCME, do you have any plans to do collabs with other creators similar to Dom's arena videos? Also, what's your favorite flower? For number one, no. I generally don't do collabs, at least not in an official way. Like maybe I like play with them here and there on stream or something. But I don't really like creators. I'm okay with Doms. He's pretty cool and he hosts big tournaments. But I generally don't like any of the league creators. Um, I don't mind saying that as like a blanket statement. I think a lot of them are overgrown children. I think a lot of them I network with out of like it's kind of like you might as well not kick the beehive or something. So a majority of people you see me follow on Twitter or whatever, if they're league creators, there's a good chance that they may be followed first, and I'm not about to start some drama. So I click the follow button, and I just mute them. But yeah, I very much dislike a lot of these people. I don't think that they're good representatives of anything. I think a lot of them are bad role models. I think a lot of them are toxic, and I wouldn't want to platform any of them. Now I'm gonna give a big shout out to Bodyless Fools because he's not any of that bullshit. He's a cool guy. He's given me some hosts recently, and I think I owe him a little bit. He also does arena content, so big shout out to Bodyless Fools. He's a cool guy. Yeah, that's it. What's your favorite flower? I don't know. I'm not actually too big of a flower guy, but for my exes in the past, maybe like lilies or roses. Roses are easy. One time, one time I did this thing. I got a white flower and a red flower. They're plastic from Michaels. It's just an art store, and I did this little trick. I did this little trick. Let me try to demonstrate to you. So I like sleight of hand. I like beatboxing. I like all these random skills, but I'm not gonna teach you any of that or show you any of that. I'm just gonna explain it. I had I had the this girl like the white flower, the water lily, and so I had the rose. I went like, ta-da! I've got the rose, right? But then I did this little trick where you can kind of like hide it behind your hand, right? I cut the stem so that it, you could flick it like this, like, whoa, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Right? And then I produced I produced the white one in my other hand. This is when I met her at the airport. I'm like, boom, boom, rose. Whoa, where'd it go? Ta-da! So let's go with that. Maybe that's good. Okay. Sorry, I gotta respond. Okay. Let's see. From Marcos Cabello Moreno. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Hello, Marcos. Marcos asks, "What do you think of nowadays society, and what is some advice you'd give someone to live in it? Also, what do you think about random ass people on the internet actually caring for your opinion on this kind of topics? I'm a huge fan. Love your work. Keep it up. Much love." That's funny. I I pasted these things, and I kind of made it hard for myself by choosing these questions. I have a lot of thoughts on today's society. To put it very succinctly, I know the stats say that we are generally safer, generally better, better systems and whatnot. But it is hard to ignore all the negative news around us. So there's this meta layer of, even if the world were to be strictly better, the news cycle and the way in which we've done information gathering and dispensing is very shocking, very frightening, very scary for me, because it's so easy to just read something, think it, or like it confirms what you believe in, and just be like, all right, okay, that's it, that's reality, right? Like if tomorrow there was like big news about like aliens actually arriving and it was fake or something, like every news outlet just like reported the same thing. What do you believe, right? Like, and so the that is one issue. The other issue is the way in which people have discourse, okay, about said news. So it's layers upon layers, right? It's kind of like when your girlfriend asks you, like, do I look fat in this dress? She's not actually asking you that, right? She what she's really saying is like, I right now I need some validation. Please pay attention to me right now, right? Like, and like most young stupid men, insecure men, they're gonna go, why would I say it? Just give her the fucking validation. She's, beseeching you. You're in a relationship. Just give it to her. Just, no, you don't look fat, honey. You look so great, right? What's wrong? What's wrong? Can I do anything for you, right? You know, just be. It's this idea of like, people don't understand how much damage they're doing to themselves because of the way in which they think and how stupid they fucking are, right? And that's the problem. Stupid people tend to not fucking know, right? Like if they're stupid, and it's like, oh shit, like I know all the things I don't know, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm so dumb, dude. I'm so ignorant to so many things, and I approach conversation as such. I literally say like, I don't know this, right? Like I'm a little bit ignorant on this, but here's like my first assumption, and let me justify that. Let me qualify my statements. I at least endeavor to make up for the fact that I don't know things. But the problem is, a lot of stupid people, they don't do that. They just full throated, full confidence, right? You see it in my comment sections all the fucking time. They just say shit, right? Like if they were to talk about this section that I'm talking about right now, they wouldn't even dispute anything I said. They would just be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. They wouldn't do any of the things I mentioned about qualifying the statements, justifying, but they would just say shit, right? So it's those two issues that really terrify me. It's like not only the way in which we're doing media, but also the way in which we're talking about the way in which we're doing media, and how we talk in general, right? It's just it's unbelievable. I don't want to talk to like half of these people, right? More than half. It's insane. You get them into a room outside of the fucking computer, outside of like the screen, like they off of Reddit, off of Twitter, whatever, and they would stutter. They wouldn't say anything out loud. They would actually fucking crumble to dust. They wouldn't be able to hold a candle ever. They don't have the level of confidence that they do on the internet, but in real life, it's crazy, and they need to shut the fuck up. So to me, that's one of the biggest issues, at least in the first world, right? This is a huge first world issue. This is like absolutely nothing compared to the trials and tribulations that other people outside of like first world countries experience, right? Like we care more about self-actualization and like, do we feel good? And other people care about literally like, can I eat food today? So I fully acknowledge that this is just my view of what's wrong with today's society, and not maybe not what's actually like more pressing. Okay, what do you think about random ass people on the internet actually caring for your opinion on this kind of topics? I mean, I'm glad, like, if they actually care. It's more like people are so quick to write off, video game streamers or whatever. It's like, okay, so if you do any profession, are you constrained to just being that your entire life, or are you capable of having thoughts outside of other, outside of that stuff, like valid thoughts actually? And a lot of people endeavor to just super fucking invalidating. They just say something like, "Oh, you're just a fucking league streamer." It's like, no, actually, I'm a professional. That's what I am, right? I'm paid to think. Actually, yes, that's what I do. I think a lot. So I would be glad if people cared about my opinions about things and engage in like actual good faith discourse. But I would be terrified of the responsibility too, and I actually am. That's why whenever I say things, I explain like over and over, maybe even like too much. I'm very redundant because I'm also very conditioned to the internet liking to misconstrue the things I say to whatever end, and just be like annoying as fuck. So yeah, thanks for caring. Uh, let's see, from Uli Xuli, I think. Is that how I say it? I think you mentioned playing Phasmophobia with the boys on stream. Any chance that'll happen? Sounds really fun to watch. Yes, yes, we'll probably play. But I like to sit in the truck and like play macro. Side note, love your videos. You and your stream. I might go to YouTube. Thank you. From King of Cannons, who's the one content creator that inspired you to start? Who do you miss collabing with the most? Who would you want to have on your video someday? Box inspired me to start. I really like watching his stuff when I was like 14. I was his like duo partner for a long time. Very early. He was like 17, I was like 14, 15 or something like that. And we played a lot. We played a lot together. I miss him. I miss Albert a lot. I like playing with him. He taught me a lot. Who would you want to have on your video someday? I mean, other than Albert. Um, huh. I'm wondering if I should be honest. Damn. I would like to, like, funnily enough, play with some of my exes and just like do like a retro, Hey, where did we go wrong? What could we have done? But as mature adults, so like maybe like 20 years from now. So like, hey, let's just be honest. I was an idiot or something, and maybe laugh about it. I reflect a lot, but that might just be a lame answer. Who the fuck cares? It's my AMA. Okay, from Bloody Snowballs. How have you been able to keep up daily videos for this long? I literally watch every single one first if I'm opening YouTube and it's there. I love that you play all champs and still have to watch them all. P.S. I mean, Zach and Levin, by the way, is W's. Uh, First of all, thank you. That's really cool. I mean, I'm glad that you've experienced some nice builds with your character. I've done maybe a couple of Zach builds here and there, like the Impregnator one. It's pretty funny. Um, how have I been able to do this for this long? Because I have bills to pay and a team to pay. Uh, yeah, and also I'm driven. I want to be a homeowner before 30. I don't want to be. I don't want to get. I mean, I hate to say this, but I don't want to get left behind like most of us will be. So yeah, I'm gonna get mine. I work hard. From Lect, what is your favorite sweet? What do you think about cheesecakes? I like the shitty, like super Americanized, artificial like candies, like blue raspberry Jolly Ranchers, or like Push Pops and Juicy Drop Pops from Canada, Ring Pops. I'm Canadian. All that shit. I don't even know what to call them. It's like the hard candy, but it's like see through. It's like blue. I don't know what to call them. What do you think about cheesecakes? My mom very much likes cheesecakes, but I don't like cheesecake. I like the crust, and I don't know. I mean, I get my mom a cheesecake, but I think cheesecake's a little bit overrated. It's kind of weird. Kind of tastes like cheese. Huh. From Reven ZXO. Would you do a try series? Nope. Nope. Hello, Juan Gonzalez Spitia. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. What is your name? Really been watching you for like more than a year now. And while I was writing this, I just thought that I don't need a name. You're the king. Amazing videos. Love all your content, and even more when you talk about your life. I don't know, college school. First of all, thank you. Damn, I should have chosen less. I like like it feels vain when I choose these questions, but I chosen whatever. My name is Eric. Erick. I like when people spell it correctly. I don't like when they don't spell it correctly on purpose. Yeah, I think it's childish. From Diego, I've been dying to know what rank are you in Mario? It's actually really funny. People thought Mario and Brian were like master tier. And they're saying like, oh, you're smurfing while also getting like your master tier friends. No, no, no. Mario's like Emerald. And Brian was Emerald at most. But the thing is, they have the advantage of playing next to me. I'm willing to coach them. I've given them free coaching for like 5 years now, for better or worse. You know, even if they're not like mechanically gifted, they're exposed to a lot of advanced ideas, and I've seen them improve. My rank is challenger. When I played a lot, I was challenger. I don't have the time to get challenger now. I leave my account at like 500 or so, and then I let it decay. I think last year was the first year I ever finished diamond. I think I'm not even sure. Ever. I never finished diamond in my life on my main account. I only finished platinum my first season, and then masters my second, masters, and then challenger, and then on other accounts I got challenger when I didn't get on my main, like season 9. Um, yeah, I got a bunch of challengers. Like my Real Flash account got like challenger, I think like double challenger or something. That was like season 11. Basically, if I want to get challenger, I can get challenger, but there's no monetary incentive to do so. It's actually fucking dumb. Yeah. So I dropped that shit a long time ago when I'm like, wait a minute, I could just play arena, you know. From the favorite Apple, you've mentioned before that you have a regular job. What do you do? Funnily enough, that's one of the reasons why I don't have time, nor would I want to. I work contract at Riot Games, which means that I am not a full-time Rioter. All opinions of my own. I do not work on League of Legends. That's it. From MK2K, Zellum. What are your thoughts on Deadlock? Have you tried? Oh, I know why I put this. Just so I can say no. I don't care. I think it's a cool game. It looks cool, but I don't care. Too many people ask me to play Deadlock. Hell no. No time. Killer Murad. I am a lurker. I watched a lot of your videos a year ago and then fell out of League around the time Mythics were on their way out. Because of this, I stopped watching a lot of League. You started to appear in my recommended when 3v3 Arena was released. I've enjoyed watching your Arena videos a lot. I almost watch all of them with a second channel included, but not every one. I feel like I should only ask one question, and it's unrelated to anything I just said. Played/play Tetris, and I remember you being quite good at it, actually. How come you never posted on the Variety channel? First of all, thank you. I appreciate a lot of you guys just kind of like leaving your little story. You know, it's cool to see like your history behind how you engage with my channel. Also, if you're falling asleep or you're watching on the second monitor, I hope you're doing a good job. The reason why I don't play Tetris on my main or my Variety channel or like anywhere really, like I don't post it, is because it's repetitive. It's hard to watch for a lot of people. I noticed a long time ago that if I were to play Tetris in queue, my view count would drop faster because people would probably associate it with like, oh, he's not playing the game. Like, is he, like they would ask literally like, are you in queue while my queue is in the background. And like if I literally sat there with my queue open, people were more likely to stay. It was kind of fucking crazy. I ran this test point over years, by the way. Okay, years. So I know my shit. Tetris is just not a viewable game. I think most people are not familiar. Outside of being the party trick where I'm very fast relative to the average, people go whoa for like the first 5 minutes and then stop caring. That's the reality of it. And so I don't care to post on a Variety channel. I use it for like the Subway Surfer meme every now and then, but that's it. From very few friends, I hope you get more. Don't know if you already answered this already or alluded to it, but how do you feel about League of Legends solo queue right now, and what is your current relationship with it? Also, how do you feel about the current state of ranked solo duo? What do you think is right/wrong with it? So, for example, are you completely disinterested in it since you hit Challenger before? Do you think it's lost some of its merits? Okay, a lot here. There's a lot here. How do I feel about League of Legends solo queue? I think it's terrible, at least from the perspective of someone who plays in NA, like relatively high-low. Master tier is not really high-low anymore. I think that a lot of the people that get to these ranks are the leftovers. They're the ones with no fucking life, no jobs, they're addicted, and they have really bad emotional regulation. I don't think any normal, reasonable human being would actually sit there and play League of Legends outside of a monetary incentive. Simply because, you know, I don't trust the average person, the average gamer, to be prudent about their life. Right? To get to these kinds of elos, you would need to necessarily throw a lot of your fucking time away in order to master, or barely even master, like one champion on one role, and then just throw enough hours at it such that you can climb, right? Because everyone gets like crazy high, amounts of LP right now, right? And it makes them feel good, right? Like a lot of people place a lot of their self-worth on their rank, and it shows. It has a lot of downstream effects, not only in the game, but also in the way in which they'll talk in real life. right? Just observe any of these people's personalities ever outside of the actual game itself, on Twitter or otherwise. And obviously it's a very constrained view of like the people, the ones that are going to be engaging on third party sources like Reddit or Twitter or literally any forums or whatnot, YouTube comments. They're by definition the more higher invested people, and the actual average casual person is probably not going to be that rank, and is probably not going to be talking in these places at all to begin with, because they're going to go live their lives, they're going to go touch grass and like do their job, right? So I don't think there are normal people left in high elo for the most part. A lot of them, like they're just not fucking normal people, in the sense that they're super antisocial. You know, they hide these things, they hide the things that they say in the game in real life, because they know they get smacked in the face if they were to say like even half of this shit. That's my view on it. My current relationship with it is, unfortunately, this is the game that I'm tied to right now. So, you know, that's just how it goes. And honestly, if I had to give it a little bit of props, it's a great system. I really like the balancing of the game. I actually really enjoy how League of Legends plays. It's just unfortunate the community is full of a bunch of fucking addicted shitheads. That's my opinion, though. How do you feel about the current state of ranked solo duo? What do you think is right, wrong about it? Sorry, I just kind of answered that. Yes, I am somewhat disinterested because of hit challenger. I don't have hitting challenger today. I would feel nothing. I'd feel nothing. I already got the physical rewards. I got the jacket, I got the 2 backpacks, and I got the hoodie and the shirt, and even the women's tee. So, like, whatever. You know, do you think it's lost some of its merits? Yeah, to me. From Matthew K, what guest of honor effect would you like to see added? Maybe just like Ribbon again, just to dilute the pool, because I really hate Poppy, Shaco, Katarina, voters, and even Evelyn sometimes if they don't dance. How interested are you? From King of Chaos, how interested are you in trying over games? Oh, other games for stream/recording. What kind of games would be on your radar for something like that? A lot of like Pummel Party esque like party games, tabletop stuff like Code Names or Wavelength. Taboo. I'm really fucking good at Taboo. I'm really good. Okay, I'm fast. I think quickly. I like board games and card games. I'm good at that shit. Nate Torres asks, is there / will you ever do a tier list for all arena augments as of August 2026? Always watch your arena videos and wonder what's the real justification for, in quotes, I should take this. Wait, no, that's trolling moments. No, I won't. For the same reason I won't make educational content. I think a lot of people don't understand that tier lists require a certain level of context and understanding. As in, if we don't agree on our definitions, if we don't establish, if we don't have the same heuristics for evaluating tier lists and like reading them, then it's just not going to be valuable. As in, the utility of a tier list is based on whether or not we agree on what things mean to begin with, right? Like, this is going to be an infinite problem. Like, people will experience it all the time. Like, if I put something in S tier, does that mean it's good no matter what on every single champion ever? Or does it mean, generally speaking, on the champions that can use it, is it good? Well, the real answer is either of them. You just have to agree on it, right? So like, if I'm thinking one thing and the other person's reading the tier list and thinking another thing, another definition for S, they're just gonna be like, huh. It's also related to the thing I mentioned about society. Like, you'll notice that if anyone puts out a tier list, the very first responses are always like, this is a bullshit tier list. Like, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, the way in which people talk to each other, they don't realize it, but they're not being conducive to any learning at all. Like, they're actually being actively worse for themselves, because they're gonna throw themselves into that argument and like necessitate that the other side either walks away or argues back, right? When you know, you're like talking some mad shit and they're like, well, hold on, I gotta correct you on this, and then you throw more shit at them. Yeah, I've experienced that way too much. I don't like you guys when it comes to tier lists. You guys don't read them properly, right? Properly being defined as like in the way in which the author is trying to present it as. Because when you go to criticize, you actually have to keep that in mind, the context, right? You can even criticize the fact that that's their definitions, but you have to get that right. You have to phrase that properly instead of just saying like, this tier list is bad. If you ever say that, that's not feedback. Don't ever label those things as feedback. That's you being a fucking idiot. Okay, Retaliate to ask, is it sometimes nice knowing certain footage is going on second channel? Do you feel any less pressure in what you say or how you have to play? Thanks for the great videos and laughs. Appreciate it. Yep, absolutely. Dein Klassen Kamerad asks, would you want to climb an arena ladder if there was one? Or more like, do you think arenas should have a queue for competitive incentive? No, absolutely not. For the same reason solo queue is very bastardized. I think the moment you put imaginary rank points on these things, you get people who are honestly like the most insecure people I've ever met. and you'll ever meet to begin with, caring enough about these things. Now, that's not to say that if you like climbing things, if you like feeling good at personal achievement, you are insecure. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be very specific here, is if you're the kind of person who cares only about competitive incentives like ranked, and you are the kind of person who will confidently throw that view in other people's faces and invoke that, I think you're very insecure, and I don't like meeting those people. Okay, I'm like basically never wrong about these people when I assume, that's weird. This guy cares a lot about rank. I wonder if they're a piece of shit. Almost never wrong about that, by the way. Like, I'd like to be wrong. I'd like to not believe that these people exist and they are that way. But at least in regards to arena and like solo queue, like League of Legends, yeah, nah, it's fucking terrible. Fucking terrible, dude. It's crazy. So much of the self worth is based on whether or not they're like higher up on the ladder. It's like, dude, go make money, man. Like, just go have fun instead. Like, if the only way you have fun is only by winning and assuming there's like a 50% win rate, in like a Summoner's Rift game, and there's only like a 1 in 6 chance you'll win in arena, like the game's balanced that way. Like, what, you only have fun like 50% of the time, or 1/16 or something? Like, wow, you have a personality defect, bro. You should probably have fun regardless of winning. Thanks. I'm gonna just be hard about it, because I think a lot of you young males need to hear that. Like, you seriously, like, you're not making money, you're not having fun on these games. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You gotta have at least one of them. And if the only way you can have fun is if you actually see the victory screen, like, are you actually having fun, or are you just relieved that you didn't lose? Let's be honest, right? A lot of you guys are probably not actually having fun. You're just happy you didn't lose. It's disgusting. It's terrible. I've been there. Don't do that. Okay. At least I turned it into a job, and I got out of that. Shifty JJ says, if you could swap out arena content for something else like Summer's Rift or another game entirely, would you? And if so, what would you swap it out for? Assume equal success viewership in whatever you switch to. Actually, I don't think other games will have as many of combinatrix as this. I wouldn't do something like Path of Exile. I don't give a fuck about games like that, dude. They look so ugly to me. Sorry. And League of Legends is the one that I'm best at. Ironically, I wouldn't swap it out because I just can't imagine the sheer amount of fun in total. Maybe something like Fortnite or whatever I would like, with the endless maps that I could play, and different like activities, I suppose. But no, it's very hard to imagine a better system than Arena for me. So good stuff. Shout out Mike, shout out Daniel, right? And shout out Austin, all the devs that worked on Arena, really. Twin Enzo, Madness Hero, even in the past. Amazing. Captain Gameplay. He's the one that put in the stats, by the way. If you didn't know, a long time ago when I was streaming, I was doing a no item run with Corin, my thumbnail editor, and we were just talking out loud, like holy shit, like how would we win without ever buying like items? We just buy stats. Like, so I played Nidalee, he played Rise. We're like, yeah, we're struggling. And I'm not even fucking kidding you, dude. Soon thereafter, the stat run thing got put in. Captain Gameplay tweeted the screenshot. It was like near May, like May 29 or something. Like, it was around May when stat runs came out of like 2024 or something. And I put that first video out of like the super prismatic shard holder or whatever, and that one went nuclear, bro. Holy fuck. I think that video did so much irreparable damage to Arena. Holy shit. But whatever. Mr. Sheep asks, if video games didn't exist, what profession would you be interested in? Teaching. I wouldn't be as harsh with you guys and as condescending. I wouldn't be as harsh with my students as I am with you guys. I think a lot of you guys are like adults. Actually, I don't think. I know you are. I know the stats on this, actually. 52% are 25 to 34, unless a large majority of you guys are lying. Yeah, we're going to go with a big portion of you guys. And it makes sense with League, right? A growing audience and aging audience. And then the other like 27% is like 18 to 25, something like that. Actually, a very tiny amount of people are 13 to 18. So unless everyone's fucking lying about their age, we'll go with at least half of you guys are male, 97% male, and of that age. Okay, so you need to hear this. A lot of you guys are not okay. So, but like, if it's like a 14, 15-year-old, I'm gonna be a lot more patient. I'm gonna care about them a lot more, because that's the future generation. You guys had your time. You should have been fixed by now. You should have stopped being like annoying and like be able to regulate your emotions easily in games. But if you don't, then like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? Right? Even when I sit there and I have an issue, I'm like, oh damn, I need to relax. Create that inner voice for yourself. Sorry, I keep hijacking these comments to talk shit. But yeah, I would love to teach like 10, 11th grades. Um, so around 14, 15, 16, when they're a little bit more malleable and they have like the cognition to like understand what I'm saying instead of just adhering to like, the position of authority, like, or what the position of authority is saying to them, right? So like a kid that's like 7, you tell them to do something, they're gonna do it because you're the teacher and you're telling them. But a 16-year-old, I'm telling them like, hey, I think you should do this, and here's why. They're gonna be able to sit there and understand, right? That's what I mean by the cognition. Like they have the intelligence to hear the words that I'm saying, and provide that I'm not giving them bullshit advice, maybe they'll take it, right? And I find that very fulfilling to influence people like that, just like I did with my boys, you know. Osama bin Guapo, did you come up with the idea of adding a songless track yourself from your team, or was it an idea that spread from some people not liking the song choices? A little bit of this one, but not from me. So Brian was the genius behind this. He understood how to do that. The rest of my team, I believe, they all contributed ideas and like they researched this or something. But yeah, people didn't like my music choice. It's like that's gonna happen. So what the fuck, like I guess we give them that option, right? It should be good. From Satsuma, if you could instantly learn another language, what would you pick up and why? Korean, because I like Korean girls. They're really pretty. Stefan asks, do you think that the way you produce videos right now will lead to a positive feedback loop where you keep increasing the quality and viewers get used to it by tolerance and start searching for more, and everything will get to a point where you just can't keep it up anymore? Yep, we've already hit that. We hit that like 2 years ago. The Faraz the Faruzurani? The Faruzurani asks, are you happy in life right now? No. What would you change about your current circumstances if you had the choice? I would like to be a little bit healthier. I have all the reasons to love my life right now, but I'm never satisfied. I don't even think I'd be satisfied if I made like $1 million a year, dude. I think I would want more. I'm very greedy like that. I have very high aspirations for life and what I want to do, what I want to do for the future and the future generations, and a lot of that requires capital. So I'm not really happy. P.S. Love you lots. I wish you nothing but success and health. I hope that your wishes help me along. Thank you so much, Dafaruz Zarani. I hope I got your name right. I'm gonna keep apologizing when I get your names wrong. I'm sorry. Lama's Knee. I care about names a lot, by the way. I care about respect. From Llama's Knee, is there a new take on a build augment combo that you want to make into a video? Yeah, I want Nico with Trickster Demon, and I send my homing clones in and explode, but people won't click on that because it's Nico. Yep, too bad. From Rift Spotlight, if Arena would cease to exist forever, whatever reason, the next day, what would you do? I bet a part of your community watches your videos because of you and Mario and Brian, not because of Arena itself. So I'm curious if you try different league modes like ARM or just focus on something else entirely. I'm not the most interesting guy, so like the portion of people that would actually watch just for me, I would imagine is like maybe like 5 to 10,000 at most, and that's a lot of people, but that's not enough to live off of. But first of all, thank you. Obviously, I need to pay attention to all kinds of audiences. If one is ignorant, one would say something like, focus on your loyal core audience. I genuinely think this is one of the most ignorant things anyone can say, because turns out money is money, and you need to be able to like front costs for like servers or like employees, or to just continue ideation, and so there's a blend of like serving your core loyal audience, and also having the perception of doing so, because these people oftentimes care more about perception than actually having the results, because they want to feel good, right? And catering to the average person, the casual, right, the one that you can convince to become a loyal core audience. With that being said, what would I do? I mean, I have all these contingency plans, but what I would probably do is fuck off. I would reclaim my time. I would just go, finish my job, my 9 to 5, and then I would have the other 8 hours to do whatever the fuck I want. Holy dude, can you imagine? I haven't had a break. I'm gonna fucking cry if I haven't had a break, like a real break, that I didn't have to like prepare like thousands of videos prior and like burn the midnight oil for, in like, dude, I don't know, like 3 years or 4 years. My weekends are not my own, dude. I get like moments here and there, but a true break, like, no, 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 no. I'm too tired. I'm too exhausted. Are you planning on playing? Sorry, from Uku. Are you planning on playing / uploading any League Classic content? No, I don't think so. There's no target audience for that. The old ones have already moved on for the most part, and the ones I would watch, the high interest people, I doubt that they would actually like care enough to do this kind of stuff. And they're so few and far between. Um, just such a tiny population, and like the new players, I don't think they would give a fuck about League Classic. It was a worse game. League Classic is a bad game. I'm not saying like the concept's a bad idea. I'm saying that like League of Legends in season 3 and season 4 relative to now, it was a fucking bad game. Right? Maybe like at the time, like 2013, League of Legends was a great game. There's nothing else on the market really. There's like Dota at most, and like CS:GO, and maybe StarCraft. StarCraft's still on its way out. And then Fortnite came in, Apex Legends, Roblox, Minecraft. These things all got their improvements, and like if you look at like the top 10 games in the world, I think League of Legends barely cracks on like the top 10 in terms of current concurrent users. And like maybe that's not the most fair metric. Maybe you got to look within MOBAs itself, but even MOBAs are a dying genre, right? And like I did a lot of research on this actually. So this might be slightly outdated, but I don't doubt that like super big trends over decades don't change. Do change. I researched this when I was in 20. I'll just switch it up now actually. Like in the world, top 10 games in the world, CCU. Top games by current players. Wait, this is Steam charts. What the fuck? That's Steam charts. Is there like any accurate thing from active player? Top 20 most popular PC games. Fuck me. There's so many categories. Top 10 games. I'll just search in the world. Whatever metric, I don't care. From Metacritic, best games of all time. Oh, not all time. Fuck, dude. Not picks. Literally like CCU, concurrent players. Is there a way to check this, dude? There's no like. I remember searching this up in 2023 and finding a bunch of articles that all agreed that it was literally like Roblox. Like Roblox was like the #1 or something. Okay, yeah. Let's just go with trust me, bro. Yeah, it's not looking so good, at least in my mind. But I don't have access to numbers. I wouldn't know if League Classic's doing well or not. I just know that I don't care. And my read on it is like I liked League in 2014 because I was 14. I would not play it today. It was slow. There are a lot of like quality of life systems that are actually better. People call them like training wheels. They say like, oh, home guards is bad, like not as punishing. I know, and it's great for the game because it's more user friendly. Or sorry, not user, more like beginner friendly. Maybe even user friendly too, right? Like it just looks better. Right? Even that's subjective, I guess. But any like content creator that's pandering and saying like, yeah, League Classic was the dude, like they just want their clicks, man. Shut the fuck up. You can't give me a compelling argument for this. And I want it to succeed. I would want League Classic to succeed. And I think one of the ways it could do that is literally introduce augments, bro. That'd be so fucking funny. But no, I haven't thought about it too deeply. I'm just being an idiot. But the thing I said about content creators, I actually do mean. I think a lot of them are super sensationalist. Fucking hate it. Poisons all the data. Hell Maestro Osu. Is there a subject you're passionate about enough to spend hours every day on your free time? Yep. Game design. Game systems. Balance systems, mastery curves, everything to do with that stuff. I love these topics. From Dragon Roar. How are you and your friends / team doing? Are you guys taking enough breaks to not truly burn out? Have you ever thought of one vid every 2 days pacing to give yourself less time pressure? Not good. We are all burnt out, and of course we've thought about taking breaks. The reason why we're here and the reason why you see us and you know of us is for you to know who I am. I had to fight for the algorithm and force my way onto your homepage. Without that, you wouldn't know who I am. If I took a 2-day break or like a break every other day, the other people that might be asking this question might not even be here to ask the questions because they wouldn't even know who I am. You have to understand that we got here by being basically inhuman. We cornered the fuck out of the market. The reason why the Reddit, does group therapy about me because they cry about me all the time. Like, oh, why can't we watch someone other than Nidhogg? There's no one else. There's no one else because we won. We won on the NA side, right? Like that's because we worked so hard, so much so that we have haters that cry over nothing. They should get jobs, So I'm sorry, man. Like, thank you for your intentions, right? I'm sure you mean well, but we work hard. We work hard and we work well under pressure. At least I do. Brian's getting there. He's young, but he's learning, and he's a lot more intelligent, and he's a lot harder worker. than a lot of you guys. Do better. Be like Brian. Same with Mario. Mario, oof, dude. I try to support him. He's going through a lot, and he shows up. He shows up when I need him. And when he doesn't, that's fine. We cover. People are humans. Yeah, we're doing good, but we're burnt out. How are you able? So Dystopia asks, how are you able to still play with such high APM and precision despite your age? I would say I was mechanically similar 10 to 5 years ago, but the excessive gaming has ruined my wrists and fingers, and I got generally slower. Do you have any special exercise or something, or do you just win the genetic lottery? Probably the former. I mean, I have good posture. I keep my hands like raised, like the raised at the wrist and stuff, and I stretch here and there. And maybe I won the genetic lottery. I don't know. I don't have carpal tunnel to this day. I'm a beast. I feel it sometimes. I feel like a little bit of a pinch, but then I just take a break and I stretch and I chill. It's good. Have a clueless asks, how does it feel knowing you have a community built around you that you continue to nurture and try to keep as good as possible? And furthermore, since you talked about being a theater kid before, have you ever thought about a scripted game where everyone gets to play as certain roles that tell a story that you're very passionate about? I know you have to cater content to get what gets you views, and this likely isn't it, but there's at least a decent group of people that basically click on whatever you upload, so it would be totally wasted. Anyways, it's just neat that you always personally respond to people who are going through tough times and continuously try to lift others up. Never change, King. Thank you. Have a clueless. And I think you would be wrong in saying that people wouldn't want to watch the scripted game. They wouldn't want to know that it's a scripted game, but you guys have watched basically scripted games before and you don't know it. We've done them. And so you're right, like there are a lot of like these ideas that we want to do. Like I don't like know what we're gonna get for the augments and stuff. I know what I want to like choose, and then we continue playing, right, for first augment. But you know, there are like assignments of like, hey, you know, let's get like a tank on each team. Like let's just have at least one meat bag for us to like demonstrate the build, right? I'll tell you a story. A long time ago when Among Us was out, I thought that the best possible content you could ever make that would get literally like 50 million views is a perfectly scripted 10-man Among Us lobby with the most famous streamers, where you plan out every moment, you plan out every kill, you plan out every conversation, every accusation, you know, every moment essentially, and you run it over and over and over again until you get it down. And you have to have like big diversion moments, big like betrayal moments of like, it has to come down to the final three, and it has to be like the most intense vote ever, and someone has to like catch someone on a lie, like actually on the first round you said this, and then there has to be like a silence for 5 seconds, and then the other guy that would vote with him goes, oh my god, and then they vote that guy out, and everyone would get chills. Like I remember thinking this when I was 21, when I was making my Among Us videos. Those were my first successful videos like ever outside of like League. It made me $6,000. It was kind of crazy. For like only a couple videos. I was like in fucking awe. I was like, what the fuck? You can make money off this? And I remember thinking like, dude, we need to write this script, and I need to like get on stream with like this guy's Toast, Masayoshi, Box. Saber was the one that got me into it. I was like, dude, and we need to get a couple of girls because everyone loves girls, right? So it was just like, this would be like the ultimate fucking video if people just thought to do it and rehearse it. And then you would just upload everyone's POV, like all 10 POVs, and just everyone wins all at the same time. It would just be the most nuclear fucking bomb of a video. Like, ugh, dude, we missed our chance. From David S, what feels fulfilling for you? Making a difference in people's lives. And orating. I like public speaking. I recently gave can't tell you what about, but it's recorded. It was pretty cool. I gave a presentation at Riot at my onsite, and it was in front of like the whole team. It was scary. I've like talked in front of like thousands of people, audiences, and like my videos get you know, almost 100,000 views on things like, but I've never felt so nervous talking in front of arguably a smaller amount of people, because this was like a group of people who were like experts, like professionals, and like literal leaders at Riot. And I'm like, I went up on that stage and I just let's do this, right? Let's fucking do, and I killed it. And my favorite thing is I was told by the person who organized the list of speakers, because I signed up to do one. He put me at the end of the list, and I was curious. I just asked him like, oh, was there any reason you know, you did that? He's like, because I think you'd be a great closer. Oh my god. I like the amount of validation I felt, especially when I actually did well. Like he said that to me, and I felt like a surge of confidence. I did a dry run in front of like the tech guy and a couple other people. I was just doing it, and I was making them fucking laugh, dude. They were howling. Like I would say a line, I would pause, and they would just fucking. I was like I could cry. Like it made me so emotional to do that well, and when it was like the actual time to present, and I'm doing this whole thing, and I like to put jokes into my speeches and whatnot, and like have some fun. And I saw some of the photos afterwards. It was just world changing. I will remember that to the end of my life, basically. Like, so what feels fulfilling for me, honestly, being amongst intelligent people and making them laugh, and presenting theater. You know, what a rush, right? What a rush. One day I can tell you guys all about it, but or maybe I won't even be able to. I don't know. Either way, I have to vague post you right now. So yeah, there's nothing. I've leaked nothing. Just hey, I talked at the company I work at. I don't know. So hello, Kitty Girl asks, I find that you are unique compared to other content creators in the fact that you take comment and moderation more seriously. But what I don't get is why you're essentially hated for that, despite many other streamers doing the same. Hums calls us shadows idiots all the time, and it's in a less constructive way than you too. I've been on the League Arena subreddit and saw the fiestas that led up to you making your Reddit account private. And I don't get why the hate, because it's not a special thing to call out shadows on stream, and it's also something everyone would do if it happened IRL. Yes, is the criticism that you complain too much and the reputation that you are rude came from your streams or videos, or why? I mean, I would think it's just because I make it a very personal thing. I like to drag people out of their anonymity. The moment they say something stupid, it's like, hey, I'm talking to you now, right? And like people don't like that. People like to retreat into their little fucking shell, these little cowards, and they like to poke at people from behind the screen. But the moment I say like, hey, you in particular, you by name, you did this wrong, and here's why. You should do better. No one likes that. Of course, someone's gonna like that. You didn't like that when you were a kid, when you were called out by your parent or a teacher, if you even did. But you needed that, right? And I reflect that a lot. And to be fair to that side, I am pretty much a dick. Like I'm a huge dick a lot of the times. Oftentimes, when I know that I'm in the right, I come down on you with it, and so it kind of defeats the point of what I'm trying to get at, right? I need to be a lot more patient. I need to be significantly less rude at times, and not to make too much of an excuse, but like I don't have that patience now. I do I do my shit, and it's like, you know what? Listen, at the bare minimum, I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna do the service for the world and say like, hey man, you're being rude right now, right? But like, yeah, that's my problem. It's like I engage in this activity that I know I don't have the energy for all the time, but I generally speaking will have more energy than the average person to do, right? Which is to call them out more directly, more personally. And so I think the reason why these people are a little bit more endearing is because like they can kind of see themselves in them, right? They're like, oh yeah, they're just fucking around. Oh, he's just joking. But like they can't see themselves in me. I'm someone who like very fucking much cares about justice. Very much cares about people doing the right thing. And so oftentimes I'll get into the issue of like people invoking hypocrisy when they might not understand that the contexts are entirely different, and they don't even accept that. So a lot of people are like acting in bad faith, and I'm not willing. Sorry, I am willing. I'm not willing to let that go. Essentially, so that would be my answer if I had to like really think about it. Like people really don't like that they don't get away with bullshit, especially because they're the ones that instigate. If you talk to me, you are instigating. I'm not talking to anyone in particular, right? If you want to do that sort of thing, if you want to instigate, you have to lead with your best foot. Because if otherwise, if you're just taking a jab at me, I'm gonna point at that and be like, look at you, you're nitpicking this. It's like, yeah, I can see the point. It's like, yeah, you're totally right. Maybe I should have built that item. But look at you, you're being a piece of shit about this. Don't do that. Next time, don't backseat. And like they don't like that. They think that the truth shields them from any accountability. It's like you could be totally right in saying, hey, Nidhogg, you made a mistake here. I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Okay. But if they say like, hey, you made a mistake, you're so fucking bad, why do you advertise yourself as good? Like that's no longer feedback, that's you talking shit, right? And so I don't let that shit go. I call that shit out instantly. So you're exactly right in saying that these people would not say it at IRL. It's nothing to do with physicality. It's nothing to do with like, oh yeah, I'm bigger than you. It's literally the fact that like in real life, people don't speak like this to each other. The way in which they talk to me, they don't. If they were to say the same things that they do, or do the same things that they do, I would respond to them the same way that I have here, right? Because I'm obviously presupposing that they're doing these sorts of things, right? if they're not being rude, if they're not being a piece of shit and being respectful in real life, I have no reason to act or talk the way that I do here, right? And come down hard on those sort of things. But to me, this is simply the most reasonable, equitable action, which is I don't take your shit, so I don't have to bottle that up and feel angry and have to like be patient to someone who's not being patient with me. And they get the call out, and it could potentially help them in the future if they sit there and go, "Oh my god, wow, I didn't mean to. I was just joking around, huh?" And they weren't actually joking, but they were just talking some shit, and then it blasts them, and then they go, "Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that," right? The likelihood that someone thinks that when I call them out is like zero, right? But it's not actually zero. It's near zero. To me, that's good enough. Those are good odds, right? Yeah, maybe I won't be able to change everyone, but I can try, right? And like you are the culmination of all the people that have called you out prior, or not, right? Or the lack of that, right? Like if you're a piece of shit at like 25 years old, like maybe it's because other people didn't talk to you, and say, "Hey, stop doing that." You know. Yeah, I care about that a lot. So, Nen Romias asks, "What were some of the tougher things you worked on for making yourself better?" I liked your 1% better each day comment in the outro the other day. I'll be honest, scope and budgeting. A long time ago, I was taught the idea of compartmentalization, taking the boxes, the different areas of your life, turn them into boxes, right? Like personal life, your work life, maybe other ways of separating things. This was taught to me both by my guidance counselor and the person that got me my job, actually, my most wonderful mentor, Adam, that I cherish deeply, both of them. And they said basically the same thing, which is great because one is anecdote, two is evidence to me. I like that phrase, right? Where it's like the first one was just telling me what they were thinking, and the second one was telling me something 10 years later that reflected the exact same notion. I should listen to them, right? So what I got better at was, again, scoping, and compartmentalization. It's like I can advance at one thing in particular. Like I can advance in these fields independent of each other. So like sometimes your personal life needs to get put on hold so your professional life can be improved and worked on, your career and whatnot. And other times maybe you got to coast at your career and really work on yourself, right? Like take a moment to work on your health, your physical health or something. And once I became very very self-aware of what I was doing and when, and also why, and I improved that 1%, like that self-awareness of like what I'm working on at that moment or that week, I think that's helped me a lot. Like one week I would sit there and be like, okay, I need to work on my writing. In fact, I wrote a post on my YouTube because of this. I was like, I need to work on my writing because one of the feedbacks that I got was like I wasn't as concise as I could have been, and I needed to maybe respect other people's time a little bit more and condense it, get the idea down. So like I lead with my problem statement first, like there is an issue here, and then I give evidence instead of like working it like a content creator, which is, hey, there's a cool thing that could happen here, and then conclusion, right? Like why am I like content hooking, the people at my workplace when they're professionals? Let me just lead with the info. I was like, oh shit, like I realized I'm coming in like a content creator. I need to come in as like an actual professional analyst. So that's it, right? Because I'm a QA engineer, quality assurance engineer. That's my title, right? But yeah. So it's I know that answer was all over the place, but basically self-awareness of what I'm working on and why and when, blah blah blah. And the scope, what I mean by scope is like how big are these projects, right? Like stop making these lofty goals. Just do one thing. Do one thing today, and then two things tomorrow maybe, and then maybe you go back to one and three. So like scope, like plan out exactly how far out and how much I'm gonna do. Because I realize I love these lofty goals. I love saying like, yeah, a year from now I want to do this. It's like, okay, what am I gonna do to get to that point? There's 365s between now and then. Let's start with today, and then we go with tomorrow, and then the day after. So, okay, that's it. That's my shit. I'll see ya.